Pickens with a strike to Reagan Johnson to begin game 2 today at 1:45 here in spectacular Athens, Georgia. The 4 and the 5 seeds, 2 World Series contenders, 2 of the last 3 champions of this SEC tournament, and the winner gets a date in the softball Final Four here in the SEC with Oklahoma. 0-2 for Johnson. Down she goes on just 3 pitches. Carlin Pickens already brings the heat.
And we've seen power pitchers excel here at this field in Georgia, and Carlin Pickens, a power pitcher, goes right at Reagan Johnson with a drop ball inside. That drop ball is the pitch that she'll use the most at 41%. The changeup that she's had since her freshman year will give her highest whiff rate. She is so tough to hit against because you have to prepare for 75, 76, and then, oh yeah, she can bring that changeup in any count.
Got it out before Reagan. Kramer with Bree Ellis behind her. 5 pitches, 5 strikes to start from Pickens. Kramer, an on-base machine, walked twice yesterday, 42 walks on the year, but she's in a cavern early, and she goes down swinging. An immaculate start to the inning for Carlin Pickens, as now she faces Bree Ellis after back-to-back strikeouts. And the first time these teams faced off this year, Carlin struck her out 3 different times.
Yeah, Bree Ellis looked very uncomfortable against Carlin Pickens. Just a lot of indecisiveness. But I'll tell you what, Tennessee chose in that series in March to go at Bree Ellis. We've seen her get pitched around a lot in the month of May and then also in April. They played each other at the end of March, and Tennessee was not scared to go at her.
The only SEC series where Bree Ellis did not walk. She walked 10 times last weekend against LSU.
Tried to work her inside a lot with that rise ball, whether it was Sage Marjecko or Carlin Pickens. When you go back and look at how Tennessee worked against Bree Ellis, they really wanted to try to throw her hard and inside and not let her hands get extended.
Ellis swings and misses. Change up at 64.
And I talked to Bree Ellis before that Tennessee series, and she told me some keys to hitting off of Carlin Pickens. 1, swinging at just about 20%. 2, make sure I'm early. And it's why that changeup was so effective against her that Pickens offered her, because she, I think, is so worried about being early that Carlin Pickens pulls the changeup out of her back pocket and gets her out in front.
The 2-2 pitch. We've already seen 3 swings from Bree Ellis in this at-bat. She swung at just 1 pitch yesterday. She is 2nd in the nation in home runs per game. She leads the country in on-base percentage and slugging. She has the 2nd best OPS in softball in the last 20 years. Best in 15 years. And she rips one to the screen foul. Bree Ellis this year has homered on 10% of her swings. The rest of the country has homered in 3% of their at-bats. One of many brain-breaking statistics that Bree Ellis has made possible this year. On 2-2, she hits a slow ground ball to short. It's cut off at third by Taylor Panel. 76 miles per hour. Pickens with a 1-2-3 first. A 4th lowest scoring team in SEC play this year. 3.9 runs per game in the conference. They've got one of the best bats in the conference hitting 3rd in Taylor Panel. No McKenna Gibson in the starting lineup today. She's been a little banged up, so Tennessee a little bit shorter with the 1 through 9 to start, and they're facing a tremendous lefty in Robin Herron.
Now, Robin Herron, the ace on staff here at Arkansas, coming from the left-hand side, has had a really strong year for them in her junior season. Just a pitcher who is so smooth and continues to get better and better every year.
Herron against Kinsey Fiedler. First pitch put in play to 2nd, and a ground out to Carly Davison.
Robin Herron will rely oftentimes on her changeup and her curveball. She can throw that curveball backdoor. She'll mix in that changeup that will just fall off the table. This is a pitch that really has elevated her junior year and has made her curveball and her rise ball that much tougher to hit. That curve and rise were pitches that she was already comfortable with, but adding the backdoor curveball and mastering the changeup has leveled her up.
Ball.
There's a rise ball 34% of the time, curveball second highest amount, and then mix in that changeup, which is her best swing and miss pitch.
1-1 for Savia Morgan. Robin Herron facing Tennessee for the third time this year. The first meeting between the teams, Herron out-dueled Pickens in an 8-inning 6-3 Razorback win. And in that game, Herron struck out a career-high 16 in those 8 innings, allowing just 4 hits, 3 earned, and walking 4. She threw 155 pitches. And she spins one in there to Morgan for strike 3.
This is a junior on a freshman here. She gets the second strike way out in front with that changeup that's moving down, and then actually brings a changeup up and gets Morgan to just look at it for the called strike. The changeup set up the changeup.
2 down, Taylor Panel, big hitter in the Tennessee lineup in swing mode immediately. Panel with a .516 on base percentage this year, slugging .809, 15 homers, monster year for a Tennessee lineup that has been pretty inconsistent around her. And Karen Weekly wants her team to show a little more fight offensively, even with a great regular season in the books. She chases in the dirt. Herron and Pickens, both with 2 strikeouts, both with perfect firsts.
I don't know. I know it's early, but I'm kind of feeling a pitcher's duel. Pickens versus Herron. These teams have already faced each other, but this is going to be good.
Between Arkansas and Tennessee this year, Arkansas started the year 1-5 in SEC play before going to Knoxville, winning the first 2, snapping Tennessee's streak of 11 straight SEC home series wins. It was the first home loss for Tennessee in a series since they had hosted Arkansas a couple of years before that. And from that point on, Arkansas has not dropped an SEC series.
Ball.
Razorbacks won their last 6 series against maybe the toughest conference schedule in the league, and it all started with a turnaround in Knoxville. And Courtney Day, who had a home run in the second inning of game 1 of that series, helped lead that turnaround. And she takes ball 2 here from Carlin Pickens.
I think that Courtney Day home run might have been the moment. I mean, you can look back and say that, but the fact that they had gotten swept the weekend before against Oklahoma, had lost the series to Ole Miss, they needed wins in that Tennessee series, which was not easy to do in Knoxville on the road. But Courtney Day, the veteran, the senior, stepped up and got them on the board, and it just seemed like it was all Arkansas to win that series as he took the final game.
3-1 from Pickens here.
Ball.
That's up and away. Carlin Pickens ripped through a 1-2-3 first, but she walks Day to begin the second.
That's why I like Courtney Day behind Bri Ellis. I just like her having more at bats. She's a veteran. She has a ton of experience. She's never let the moment get too big. She's such a calm presence in the box, whether she's leading off or seeing Bri Ellis get pitched around in front of her.
So Courtney Deifel made that swap. Day up to 4, Ella McDowell down to 6, and Kaylee Wyckoff, the left-handed hitter, stays in the 5 spot. Sophia Nugent goes out to chat with Pickens right in front of the circle, as Carlin's misfired with 5 of the 6 pitches here in the second inning. Doesn't do that much. 49 walks, now 50 in 168 and a third innings, and 223 strikeouts for Carla Pickens, who's just elevated her game every year, year in and year out. The 6'1" junior has improved.
It's really actually interesting to see her year-by-year ERAs. Her freshman year, her ERA was over 3, and we still thought, man, she's quite the talent as a freshman on a staff with Ashley Rogers and Peyton Gottschall. And then as a sophomore, it was just her and Peyton Gottschall, and she pitched more and cut her ERA down by 2/3. And then look at this season. Everybody knows her. They prepared for her. When you're facing Tennessee, she is who you are preparing for. Ramping the machines up.
And a nasty changeup to strike out Wyckoff. That's 3 in the first 4 outs.
So it makes it even more impressive that last year as the SEC Pitcher of the Year, she was fantastic. This year, again, elevating her game. She is a hard worker, a leader, a great teammate. Karen Weekly, her head coach, constantly mentions that about Carlin Pickens.
Ella McDowell laces one to right. It's caught by Alana Leach. Very well struck, but Leach, in just her 3rd start of the year in right, was well positioned. Carlin Pickens, April 1st, was named the NFCA Pitcher of the Week, the national award. And then she won that award on April 8th. And then she won it again on April 15th. She's the first player ever to win the NFCA Player or Pitcher of the Week 3 consecutive weeks. And these are the numbers. Her ERA somehow is better than her whip. That's just crazy. They're both sub-1, and she's among the nation's leaders in every major pitching category.
And she told me, too, her main focus her freshman year was just having good mechanics. She threw her fastball a lot and also her off-speed, but really it was a big focus for her to just have better mechanics. And then it allowed for her to progress to her other pitches and use them more in her sophomore and now junior year. So when you look at her fastball usage, it was a pitch that she really relied on in her freshman year, throwing it by far the most. But as her career has gone on, she's gotten more confidence in not throwing her fastball as much and going more to that rise ball and drop ball that we showed you on her scouting report, alongside that changeup that she has had all 3 years.
Ball. 2-2 here to Kennedy Miller, who moved from the 9 spot to the 7 today. Had another 2-hit game yesterday, her 3rd 2-hit game in the last 4. Pickens 2-2 is grounded over to short, and Laura Mueller makes the short flip. 2 scoreless for Carlin Pickens in the SEC quarters. Well, Bree Ellis mania has overtaken the softball world here, but Taylor McGregor, well before she got to Arkansas, she was a big star.
Yeah, listen, Bree Ellis is writing her name all over the record books, but perhaps there's no book more important than the one her mom, Molly, keeps. Since Bree was 9 years old, her mom has been keeping a spreadsheet of every single home run that she has hit in her lifetime. It began when she was 9, and she would keep track of the day, the team she was playing, and the team she was playing against. And on the right, you can see the stats of the season were accounted for as well. And I think her mom was pretty fired up last night to type in her 185th home run, the Grand Slam against Georgia, and the SEC tournament.
That is such a cool story, Taylor. It's such a great visual. There's so many notes in there. Some preseason player of the year notes when she was a kid. I saw Valerie Cagle's name was in there. She went off her. There's Mom Molly adding one to the spreadsheet last night.
Yeah, Mom Molly and Dad Ron are back home in Houston watching the SEC tournament, just prepping to travel for the postseason. But I think a lot of parents can relate to them tracking their daughter's success.
And Bree Ellis' team just got 2 first pitch outs as Nugent and Clark fly out here in the 2nd.
They even collect a lot of the home run balls. Bree Ellis did say that they stopped collecting the home run balls at some point, but her and her sister Emily, they collect both of them, as well as the hotel cards, the keys to be able to get in from travel ball. I mean, so many just cool keepsakes that her mom Molly just likes to have around. I mean, softball is such a big part of these athletes' lives and conversations and dinners and travel. A lot of keepsakes that Miss Molly has going on in Houston.
That's really cool. And thanks to Molly for sharing some awesome pictures with us, too. Mementos and scrapbooks of the Ellis family's softball life. Bree Ellis in Arkansas in a scoreless game here in the second. Robin Herron with a 1-1 count on Gabby Leach. She got 2 first pitch outs here in the second. A one-hopper to Leach, the sophomore designated player. Been banged up a little bit, so she's not in the field today. 934 OPS, 286 hitter, having a nice offensive year. Leach starts to swing, holds up. That's Susan Eads down at third. Chris Neighbors is the plate umpire. Cameron Ellison at first today.
And look at where Rijo, the shortstop, is playing right up the middle of the field. Arkansas, in terms of fielding percentages, has one of the best defenses in the country, and oftentimes they're positioned just right to be able to put themselves in good positions to make plays and limit those errors, due in large part to Matt Michael, their assistant coach, Courtney Deifel's longtime assistant.
3-2, another called third strike, and Robin Herron has been perfect through 2.
And Tennessee is being really aggressive against Robin Herron, too. A couple of one-pitch outs, went deeper into this count, and then gets Gabby Leach with her curveball.
Sooners in their SEC postseason debut took care of LSU 4-1 to start our quarterfinal quadruple header. Still to come, Texas, which will take the SEC tournament field for the first time against the surprise team of the first 2 days, 11 seed Ole Miss, and then Texas A&M and South Carolina. Natalia Rijo in a 1-2 count against Carlin Pickens. The pitcher's duel has been on so far. Only 1 base runner combined and 6 combined strikeouts between Pickens and Robin Herron. And Rijo goes down swinging for Pickens' 4th punch out.
Look, if Carlin Pickens just threw 75, 76 miles an hour and never changed speed, she would not have the success that she has had, especially the past couple of years. It is the changeup that messes everything up. As a hitter, you're so worried about starting early, being able to catch up to the speed, and then she pulls a string, and you're just so far out ahead of it.
How on earth do you hit against Carlin Pickens?
I think you have to just start to guess a little bit. Be early, start to see or try to see something down. Don't mess with the rise ball at all.
Davison drills it over our heads.
That one had a little extra pace on it than the
foul
one from
balls
yesterday.
off Carlin Pickens are no joke. You ready for today?
No. You know what I'm doing.
Right there.
Be alert for foul balls. Why are we booing? Are we booing my
because
ducking?
No, because one of the members of ballpark security has to take the ball and retrieve it and bring it back. So people are booing that the kid can't get it. It's not his fault. He's just doing what the protocol says to do. Right field, here's Leach ducking into the second out. Speaking of foul balls.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. This was yesterday in the Mississippi State LSU game. Where's Amanda? There's Amanda. And now we have this wonderful plaque to memorialize the Amanda Scarborough Memorial Booth here at Jack Turner Softball Stadium.
Might as well put it right here on the wall behind me. I mean, this is where it needs to go.
It says authentic signature. Would you like to
right
can
here?
You sign this for me,
Yeah,
please?
I'll sign this and see if we
right
can
on the bullseye. Thank you.
do this right here. Just
right over the dent there for that ferocious foul ball.
You guys were trying to hide that from me. And then what happened was, it's a warmer day today, so I had to move the fan, and it was hidden behind the fan because I had to turn that bad boy on. But right here it is.
Yep. Good target.
Got to be alert for the foul balls.
Scarborough win stake.
I have a lot of disappointed people in me, for not trying to catch the foul ball. But again, I maintain I'm not ashamed, no regrets of not trying to go up and catch it.
I appreciate your confidence, or whatever that is. Ball. 1-2 here for Reagan Johnson.
A lot of the hitting coaches have said something to me, by the way. JT Gasso and Bryce Neal both have already reached out to me, just really let down by it.
Yeah, I'm sure they were very complimentary. I'm actually shocked at how many people brought it up to us this morning. Walking up to the booth.
It's a thing.
JT Gasso brought it up. People on the field brought it up. A fan mentioned it to you. One of the members of the press mentioned it to you. You're notorious.
Well, we've shown it about 100 times, so I mean, probably everybody here knows about it in the stands.
Maybe 101. Who knows?
Yeah, it's only Thursday, huh? We still have the semis and the championship game.
That's true. Two more quarterfinals tonight.
It is warmer today. See, a lot more fans are out. I had to get that fan going behind me.
2-2. Johnson has that pop into the bat. A foul ball to keep her at bat alive. Ellis is a couple of batters away here. Second time through against Pickens, who struck out 4, walked 1. The only real sharp contact was McDowell, who lined out to right. 2-2 pitch.
Well, and she's just, Carlin Pickens is so tall too. She's 6 foot, 6'1", so she has a really long stride, gets out to the end of the circle. And I mean, the mound itself, remember, is only 43 feet away from home plate. So by the time that she strides out, she just feels like she's on top of you.
Ball. Floats one to Reagan Johnson. All-SEC player a year ago, was a first-teamer. Was not named to the preseason All-SEC teams. Took that as a little motivation. And she's put together another fabulous year. 364, 448 on base. A 3-2 for her. Johnson smacks it into the dirt.
I like this second at bat, though, from Reagan Johnson. That second time through, as the 10th pitch of the at bat is about to be upcoming, is just about making adjustments, setting a different tone. It was a quick first time through the order for Carlin Pickens, but Reagan Johnson just extending this at bat, putting more pressure on her.
Right back to Pickens, who ends the battle on the 10th pitch. Carlin Pickens has been near perfect through 3. Just 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. Just another day in the world of the SEC's most dominant arm. And South Carolina, one of the SEC's great surprises this year after that. Well, 14 SEC teams we think are going to the NCAA tournament. Everyone but Missouri, who finished the season with a sub-500 record. And everybody's fighting for something in these games, something beyond just the SEC championship. A few teams are playing for the #1 overall seed. Whether you want to get that or not, that's a question, depending on who might be in the 16 range. Texas Tech is lingering around there in some of the national projections. Arkansas and Tennessee, they're both fighting to get into the top 8. The top 8 seeds is chosen by the selection committee. Will host a regional, and then if they win, would host a super regional. And Arkansas, by some folks in the know, is thought to have maybe a slightly better resume. Plus, they won 2 of 3 at Tennessee. What a play at second. Carly Davison takes away a hit from Laura Mueller.
By far the hardest hit ball that we've seen off the bats of Tennessee, and Laura Mueller is not going anywhere yet, thinking that Bree Ellis might have pulled her foot, and I think that we're going to see a challenge from Karen Weekly. But what a read by Carly Davidson in an angle, throwing from her knees. Bree Ellis going for the stretch with those long legs. Maybe she did pull her foot. Now, did she get it back in time is going to be the question. It did come off of the base, but what was the timing of that all?
Cameron Ellison did not have the mic on there, but he's going to make an announcement here shortly. Maybe he's not going to make the announcement. Mike, we couldn't hear, but this play is clearly under review. The call of out at first base. Tennessee's elected to use a challenge.
Oh, it's hard to see because her glove, she's so tall and long that her glove goes out of frame. I think she's safe. Oh, there's a shot right there. Oh, it's so hard to see, to tell.
Can you overturn it based on those last two looks? That's the question. This is the tough one because we don't know when the ball is in the glove, when the fingers of the glove start to close around the ball there. Right there. Is her foot still on the base? It's hard to say from this angle. I think there's a little separation.
I think there's separation as well.
Right.
I'd overturn it.
There.
Yeah.
And the call is overturned to safe. Good challenge by Karen Weekly. It will be a leadoff infield single for Laura Mueller. Arkansas is the second best team in the country by fielding percentage, only behind Florida Atlantic. And they are routinely making plays like that. And they were oh so close to another highlight. And Tennessee has its first base runner of the game.
FAU is coached by Jordan Clark, who used to be on staff at Arkansas.
Small softball world we live in, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Here's Alana Leach, sophomore. Swings and misses. Mueller's on the run, and Mueller is out. Perfect throw by Kennedy Miller for the first out.
Money. This throw is on the money. Not an easy pitch to be able to make the transfer on, but that throw could not have been more perfect. It made the tag for Carly Davidson, who just had to put the glove right there for the out.
Well, you'd think the Arkansas defense does something great, and then two pitches later, they really do something great. Fifth runner that Miller has caught stealing this year. And now the base is empty for the sophomore Leach, who strikes out swinging.
Feels like every time Robin Herring gets two strikes, she's getting a strikeout. Hitters are hitting just 108 off of Robin Herring with two strikes, in large part to this changeup that you have to deal with. Mixing speeds like crazy. That's why Tennessee is trying to be so aggressive early in the count off of her, because she's tough with two.
3 of her 4 strikeouts have come off the changeup. 3 of Carlin Pickens' 4 strikeouts have come off the changeup. 0-1 to the 9-hitter Ella Dodge. Courtney Deifel told us earlier this year they need that pitch to be the pitch for Robin. They need her to be, and its team supports her in saying this back to her, the change master. And she has been through 9 batters today. Absolutely brilliant start to this quarterfinal game.
Well, last year, Courtney Deifel said she pressed with that changeup a little bit, but sometimes a pitcher like Robin Herring or other pitchers across the country just need to see the numbers or the profile of the pitch and how they're going to use it to really commit to it, to be able to elevate that pitch the way that she's elevated this year.
Oh, well. Junior lefty Robin Herring, coming out of Tampa, Florida, and the same pitching coach growing up as Mary Half, one of the great Arkansas pitchers in their program history. Well, she'd be making Mary proud right now. Changeup after changeup after changeup, and now the second meeting between Bree Ellis and Carlin Pickens today. Power versus power when we come back to Georgia. Taylor, thank you. Arkansas, they did stay the course against Carlin Pickens last time, but they got off to a better start. They ended up with 6 runs in 8 innings in the game. They had the home run from Courtney Day early and made a lot of contact Not so much contact today.
No, but I do think that that last Reagan Johnson at bat that we saw to end the third inning, where she went deep into the count, fouled off some pitches after a quick strikeout in her first AB, is an adjustment.
Reagan Kramer, chopper to second. No play for Dodge. And that means Arkansas gets the leadoff runner on before Bree Ellis, as Kramer picks up the first hit for the Razorbacks. And Ellis is hoping she'll see a pitch to hit. Those were all the pitches she saw against Georgia, and you'll notice outside of that one, nothing else was that close to being a strike. Great visual from yesterday, where she saw 11 pitches. As many were in the strike zone as hit her.
The pitch before the home run was by far the closest pitch that she had seen all game. And so you know that she was geared up. She saw it up a little bit from the pitch before, and her seeing that pitch up a bit, she just unleashed on it. And you can't talk enough about how difficult that is as a hitter to not swing all game, to have the patience, to just try to guess or hope that they're finally got a pitch to you.
Ellis blasts it right center field. That's an alley ball off the fence, and Ellis is into second with a stand-up double. Her first extra base hit and 8 at-bats against Pickens this year.
And here's the 3 pitches and how they went at her: off speed, inside, and then down with the changeup. She didn't bite at it. They decided to go outside, which they've been working her hard in every time that they faced her, but she gets one that is a bit elevated and doesn't miss. That's a mistake, and Bree Ellis, the way that she's swinging it this year, is not going to miss a pitch like that.
Second and third, nobody out. And now Courtney Day in the moment that she's made for as Bree Ellis's protector in the lineup once again. Been hitting there much of the year until the last few weeks. Day takes some chin music. I know it's off speed, but 64 is not very off speed.
That's the top speed of a lot of pitchers in Division I softball.
Swords up on strike 2, back to 75. A home run off of Pickens in the first meeting this year, but Carlin struck her out later in the game with the bases loaded. And she misses down and in for ball 2. Courtney Day, 28 RBIs more than her previous career high. She's reached base 13 games in a row. She's ready for a 2-2. It's strike 3.
This is that rise ball that she's able to go up in the zone with. Took even about 5 to 6 miles an hour off of it, as oftentimes rise balls will take a few miles an hour off of it. It's more up in the zone, 70 miles an hour to get Courtney Day swinging.
And then off speed to Wyckoff for strike 1. Second and third, 1 out now. Kaylee Wyckoff struck out on very similar pitch to that one in the second. Ball. Pickens has wriggled out to so many jams this year, pitching in so many tight games. A ground ball to second. Well picked by Dodge, and they've got Kramer hung up, and 2 runners at third. But Nugent throws the ball away, and 2-run score. Ellis is hurt on the play. Wyckoff got all the way to third, 2 runs scored, and Bree Ellis has to be helped to her feet. Arkansas has the first 2 runs on a defensive mistake from Tennessee.
The mistake was not by Ella Dodge. That was a great play, but Kramer decided to run, then stopped and put pressure on Tennessee's defense to get into a rundown. And look at the hustle by Bree Ellis, which was a very scary moment when she went in because of how awkwardly she went in. Great hustle by her, and this was very scary. hoping that she's okay. It looked like it after, and she was laughing, but
I got tricked. You know what it was? I got what are you saying? Shut up.
but she got tripped apparently, you know. That's what happened.
Oh my gosh. So it's a fielder's choice. It's an E2 against Nugent as Taylor Panel dropped the throw. Let's see, right there.
Yeah, by the glove, yeah.
A glove of Pickens.
That was really scary, 4 or 5 seconds as Courtney Deifel came running in, making sure that she was going to be okay.
So Bree gets a breather. So, boy, a couple of things to unpack on that play. Now that we think Bree Ellis is okay, and hopefully she can laugh off what looked like a soccer player sliding to score a goal into the plate. First of all, it's a runner at third, one out for Ella McDowell, who grounds one back to Pickens. Pickens to first, well done for out number 2. And you mentioned the mistake by Nugent, who had 2 runners at third and didn't need to throw the ball there.
Just needed to run her all the way back to third base. Those rundowns, Kevin, are plays that you start practicing at 10U, 12U, 14U, and you practice them over and over again, just like first and thirds, and it's very annoying. You hate to do it on defensive practices, but it just never really gets that much easier. It's always so situational, and the runner is different, and the positioning of your defenders is different. It's always tough.
Well, Carlin Pickens hasn't seen her ERA touch now because there was no RBI on the play. So she's now allowed 23 earned runs this year and 17 unearned runs. And remember the first meeting between these teams. Arkansas scored 6 against Pickens. 3 of them in the 8th were all unearned after a 1-out error by Destiny Rodriguez at second opened the floodgates. They've lost 4 games this year when she has started and not allowed an earned run. And she does not allow an earned run here, but she allows 2 runs all the same. It was not a graceful finish because of the trip, but Bree Ellis looks to be okay. She had the big hit in the inning, and Tennessee had the big defensive miscue.
I got tricked. You know what it was? I got what are you saying? Shut up.
Kevin?
Taylor, thank you. And look, this game has been Tennessee in a nutshell to a degree. No earned runs allowed. Best pitching staff in the SEC. But offensively, the 4th lowest scoring team in the league. Only 6 hits a game in league play. And they only have an infield single through 3 innings.
One of the best team ERAs in the entire country. It just, sometimes their offense can't get going, and sometimes they make those defensive mistakes with Carlin Pickens in the circle, who's just being fantastic, but those runs across, and then it's hard for them to get back in.
Fiedler spins the ground ball back to Herron, who's thrown only 31 pitches to 10 batters. This is what Karen Weekly told us when we talked to her a couple of days ago. You asked her, what do you want out of this tournament? And she said, I want people to go, dang, those hitters are hungry. It feels like they've shown glimpses of it, but there haven't been a lot of full games where they've carried Carlin Pickens. Their lineup has worked 1 through 9 and exhausted out other pitchers. That's been the difficult thing for her. Even in a year where Tennessee's gone 15-9 and 1 series at Oklahoma and at Texas, there's still a lot of room to grow offensively.
Yeah, and Karen Weekly said, to your point, if we want to be an OKC, that's what we need to do. We need hungry hitters, ones that if you throw anything over the dish, we're going to be all over it. Chasing pitches out of the zone like that, and Robin Herron, I mean, fantastic pitcher. But Karen Weekly was very passionate, wasted no time when I asked her what they wanted to get out of the SEC tournament. It was all about their offense.
Savia Morgan skips away from the freshman who had a nice series against Arkansas this year. 3 for 6, walked, stole a couple of bases. She's been their 9-hitter much of the year, batting second today behind Fiedler. And she strikes out on another ball in the dirt. Strikeout number 6, another one on a changeup for Herron.
In every time in this game that Robin Herron has gotten 2 strikes, she's gotten a strikeout. This is why you want to go up and try to hit her early in the count, hitting about 100 off of her with 2 strikes on the year. Tennessee is hitting 0 with 2 strikes off of her in this game.
Pulled the string to panel. What makes her such an effective 2-strike pitcher without super velocity?
It is definitely all about the changeup. She tunnels it really well with her curveball and her rise. That's her changeup again. I mean, she can locate it a little bit up. She can locate it a little bit down in the dirt. I would throw that changeup in the dirt again, following that changeup that she just threw to get the 2nd strike.
Looking for another 1-2-3 inning. Down to third. McDowell couldn't make the play, and that's a rarity. Only her 3rd error of the season to extend the inning for Tennessee.
And this again with 2 strikes, and I think I would have liked to have seen that changeup in the dirt instead of elevated like the pitch before. A hitter like Taylor Panel is just having such a good year. You can't throw the same pitch 2 times in a row and expect the exact same result.
So here's Sophia Nugent as the tying run. Now Nugent has been the hottest Tennessee hitter. If you want anybody up as the tying run right now, you're Tennessee, it's Sophia Nugent, who's going to go over and have a discussion at the Tennessee dugout. Tennessee had 3 home runs as a team last weekend against A&M. Nugent had all 3. Pretty good swing at that, but she's in an 0-2 hole. An Oklahoma transfer. He's been a mainstay for Tennessee the last couple of years. And remember, she committed the throwing error in the top of the inning to bring into for Arkansas. She cannot get the runs back. Another 2-strike changeup and another finish with a flourish.
I can't even wrap my brain around what it's like to step into the box and hit this Robin Herron changeup right now. She is on it, getting ahead of these hitters and finishing them off with a change. The best. And to think, Kevin, she is just a junior. We still get to see her for 1 more year.
Truly frightening thought for SEC opponents. Natalia Rijo wasn't waiting around for strike 2, and understandably so. Herron and Pickens today have worked their way into 17 2-strike counts, and the opposing hitters are 0 for 17. Just an immaculately pitched game from both Herron and Pickens. The only run scored on the throwing error by Sophia Nugent. Taylor Panel dropped a throw from her with 2 runners at third base. Both scored, and it's 2-0 Arkansas here in the 5th. Ball. 1-1 to Carly Davison.
Carlin Pickens, Kevin told me about how she still gets game day keys to success text from her dad before every game. Talked about Bri Ellis's family connection, and Carlin Pickens' relationship with her dad is still so strong. He'll send her texts like these pregame with game day keys, and oftentimes too they'll say play like a 10-year-old little girl, reminder about just always been the mantra in her head to play like that 10-year-old little girl that when she first started had that love of the game, and she still has that joy today as a junior.
A joy that Karen Weekly thinks has been a little more visible on the field this year. When Carla Pickens would strike somebody out as a freshman, Karen Weekly said sometimes you'd see her clench her fists and stop the celebration. But she lets out the emotion a little more right now. And they like that Carlin's been more authentically herself as she's just mowed down hitters against some of the best teams in softball.
When you look at her numbers versus ranked opponents, they're the exact same as her numbers overall in the year. There's no increase at all in any of the numbers that you see.
And she gets a called third strike, another 2 strikeout, 7 Ks for Carlin.
So just a little fastball in the inside corner, getting about a ball off of the plate. Davidson thought that that was ball 4, but Pickens gets a call.
Little restrained, down 2-0, but a 7 strikeout performance. Reagan Johnson stands in for third time.
You know, and I asked her about her routine, and she said that being great with her eyes is the main thing for her that she needs to do within her routine. She gets the ball, she's looking at her catcher, she visualizes what the pitch is going to look like, and then she wants to execute it. Not a lot of chatter that goes on in her head, she said. She's worked hard to eliminate that.
Johnson slaps one to left field, down for a base hit. The first batter to reach in a 2-strike count today after 18 straight batters could not reach safely.
And look at the pitch location here in an 0-2 pitch. It's a little bit up, and Reagan Johnson does a good job of keeping her barrel above this rise ball to flatten out that line drive out to left field.
Yeah, that's $1 for Reagan Johnson. That's a lucrative hit. So Reagan Johnson is on. Reagan Kramer is up. Her infield single started the 2-run rally in the 4th.
Well, Reagan Kramer at the plate, also known as Jimmy. You can hear her teammates yell Jimmy in the dugout. It comes from her travel ball team. She used to wear number 99, and there was a men's softball player who also wore number 99, and it's just one that stuck, guys. So you barely hear her teammates call her Reagan. It's always Jimmy.
Yeah, she said some of the younger girls that were in our organization back in the day have no idea my name's not actually Jimmy. And she is their leader, whatever first name she goes by. Over to second, Dodge. Another scoreless inning for Pickens. Can the Tennessee Bats get going? Career high 16 Ks in 8 innings against Tennessee. The first meeting this year, 7 more today. Only base runners, Laura Mueller on an infield single. Bree Ellis' foot came off the bag, or it would have been an out. And then Taylor Pannell reached on an error by Ella McDowell at third. There's a caught stealing in there. So Herons faced 1 over the minimum. And it's just been one great changeup after another. Emma Clark, the freshman, in there at first today. Boo Gibson not in the starting lineup. She's been banged up a couple of times this year. Former All-American is out. And here's Emma Clark, freshman who's played all over the field, making her first career start at first base for a Tennessee team that is 0 for 8, 7 strikeouts in 2 strike counts against Heron. So what do you think's going to happen here?
Well, do you think that they're tired of facing lefties yet? Coming off of a 3-game series against Texas A&M and Knoxville last weekend, where they had to face Emily Kennedy a couple of times, and now they have to face Robin Heron. I mean, they've gotten a heavy dose from the left-hand side.
That's put in play on a 2-strike count, but routinely for Wyckoff. Arkansas is in the quarterfinal round for the 5th consecutive year. They had not won a game here at the tournament in 10 of their last 12 appearances into this year. A couple of years where they had a bye and then lost. They did win the tournament in 2022. And that year they gave up just 1 run in 3 games. Only allowed 1 to Georgia yesterday. This is popped up by Gabby Leach. Davison, the second baseman, has the second out. And Arkansas's got the 6th best ERA in league play, but since the Oklahoma series, since they got swept at home and dropped to 1-5, it's a 2.98 ERA. That's the 2nd best in the SEC since then.
And they had a ridiculously tough SEC schedule, as everybody does, but I think that Matt Michael ran the numbers and figured out that Arkansas's SEC schedule was the toughest out of anybody in the conference this year.
On the ground past McDowell, Riho in the hole. Great lunge, but no chance to get Mueller, who has both of Tennessee's hits.
Both of them infield singles, one to second, now one to shortstop, where we've seen Rio cover a lot of ground up the middle of the field in the 5-6 hole. Impressive she could even get to this. And then look how quick she gets to her feet. Really not ever be a close play at first base, but man, that was athletic.
Ball. Alana Leach tying run with 2 outs. 7 for 27 on the year. Only 1 extra base hit was a double. Pretty good swing in what is just her 7th start of the year. She and Gabby, fraternal twins, younger sisters of a couple of former Lady Vols, Aubrey and Kelsey. And Alana takes strike 2.
Aubrey, one of the Tennessee greats.
Herons 1-2. Oh, almost hit Ella Dodge in the on-deck circle, who has a very apt last name right now.
And then Karen Weekly looks at her and says, come on back, as she moves back. There's Aubrey behind the on-deck hitter, directly behind. That is Alana's sister, who's wearing the orange hat right behind her.
Replay time.
Whoa.
Didn't quite have time for an Ella Dodge. Another 1-2 for Alana Leach. 2-0 Arkansas lead, bottom 5. Ball. Sneaks away from Miller. She'll throw to second base, and Miller just snuck in there. She, who hesitated, was almost lost.
Kennedy Miller has such a good arm, throws this ball. I mean, look, it still gets a couple of steps away from her, and her arm is so good that that was a closer play at second base than I ever thought it was going to be.
So Miller, the first Lady Vol to get to second, and Miller blocks this one. Remember, Laura Miller was thrown out trying to steal second in the 3rd. She tested Miller again and just barely snuck in there now. And Alana Leach has worked her way to a 3-2 after the hit and the pass ball. Got a runner at second, and a ground ball to second. Davison throws her out. Bri Ellis has the ball in her hands, and Bri Ellis will soon have the bat in her hands. Round 3 with Carlin Pickens around the bend.
And the Women's College World Series. And Bri Ellis is a student of the game. She loves hitting. She said that most of her social media and Instagram feed is hitters, swings, coaches breaking down swings. She likes to see what everybody is doing and what she can take from that. And how about taking a mindset and approach from one of the all-time greats in Lauren Chamberlain.
Ellis has one of the big hits of the game with her 4th inning double, and she gets under this one from Pickens. Fiedler comes in from center, and Bri Ellis 1 for 3 today. Carla Pickens has gone after her every time. Anybody can understand why teams pitch around Bri Ellis. It's often the right strategy, but as a fan of the game, it's just been fun to see these two go at it today.
You read my mind. Way more fun to see a pitcher try to go at her and get her out versus a catcher setting up in the left-handed batter's box and just taking 4 pitches in a row. Totally get why, but it is much more fun to see best on best.
Pickens is going after everybody here. 12 first pitch strikes in a row. The only 2 runs in the game on a fielder's choice, a throwing error by Sophia Nugent with Reagan Kramer in a rundown. A throw that glanced off at Taylor Panel's glove. Courtney Day sizzles one to dodge. That was 75 out of the hand of Pickens and maybe just as hard off the bat.
You know, Carlin Pickens got to Tennessee, and Karen Weekly said that she came in throwing 70-71. So if you're wondering that just Carlin Pickens has always thrown 75 from the moment that she's set foot at Tennessee's campus, the answer is no. Came and worked on her mechanics, and she talked about that from her freshman year to help in terms of her tools and her spin and overall command to work on that in her freshman year and be able to throw her rise ball and her drop ball more, but it's also increased her velocity to work on those mechanics and gain speed.
1-0 for Wyckoff. Haley's under the pitch there. 71 from Pickens. He's touched 78.2 this year. The second best ERA in the country behind Nyjah Kennedy. An ERA that's lowered today because of the 2 unearned runs. And these 2 pitching performances, Pickens and Herron, neither is worthy of being overshadowed. And if Carlin is, it's only because of the defensive miscue, but she has been as nails as ever. 2-2 count here. She struck out 7. She's not walked a soul. And she vaporizes Wyckoff to end another 1-2-3 inning. 8 Ks for Carlin. It's still 2-0. 9-1-2 coming up for Tennessee, trying to pick up their pitcher.
Back here in Athens, Arkansas up on Tennessee. SEC Now is here, and we'll get you set in between games. We'll preview the next game coming up, Texas and Ole Miss. But ladies, how about this one? The pitching right now, so good.
Pitching the entire tournament has been chef's kiss. You're talking about 6.5 runs per game averaging in the season. Now 2.9 for the whole tourney.
Yeah, love it. Pretty good. Amanda, are you living your best life right now watching these pitchers?
Pitchers duel left and right. And what's so crazy is that this is a hitter's park. It's 190 down the lines, but where are the home runs? Pitching's been stepping up in this tourney.
Carlin Pickens, 6 innings, no earned runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts. And now really all she can do is stand, wait, have a snack, and hope that Tennessee's going to get going against Robin Herron. They've had 2 hits, both infield singles. They had an error against Ella McDowell for a base runner, and that's it. Ella Dodge, Kinsey Fiedler, and Savia Morgan. Anybody gets on their big bat, Taylor Panel. As Herron bounces a changeup, one of the few times she's missed badly with that pitch. Strikeouts in each of the first 4 innings, 7 in the game for the junior Robin Herron. That ball smacked to center. Ella Dodge with a base hit out of the 9 spot.
Karen Weekly loves the energy that Ella Dodge brings out on defense, and now she can bring it with her bat to one of the few hitters counts that Tennessee hitters have found themselves in this game. And Ella Dodge from the 9 hole takes advantage of it, gets on plane with that pitch. Great extension out toward right center. And a girl, Ella Dodge, coming from the 9 hole.
Just a .233 hitter. And here's Kinsey Fiedler. Big rip on the first pitch she sees from Herron. Fiedler, a Washington transfer. tied the Tennessee triples record this year. Great speed. They're thinking she might try to lay down a bunt at the Arkansas corners. It takes strike 2.
Crazy to think that Kinsey Fiedler has 8 triples, 7 doubles and 8 triples. And before the season started, Karen Weekly actually had almost a premonition, I guess, and told Kinsey Fiedler, I think this year you're going to set the Tennessee triples record.
Ball. She's homered twice. Been a wonderful addition from Washington. Second best on-base percentage on the team. Second highest average. With Dodge at first, a 1-2. Fiedler takes it in the dirt. Two and two for the triple threat. Way upstairs. And Robin Herron is in just her 3rd 3-ball count today. A big, big pitch in the making. We'll do it again.
Kinsey Fiedler told me that a lot of those triples have been almost mishits in her mind, that have been hit down the first base line, and that it ends up in that right field corner. And with her speed, she ran track, by the way, in high school, the 100, the 400, the 4x1, even did the triple jump. Super athletic, so a lot of speed when it gets down that right side.
Fiedler takes strike 3 called. There have been so many 2-strike changeups, and Herron zips in one of her hardest pitches of the day here.
Up and in, you see that Miller is actually set up outside, expecting an outside curveball. It turns into a backdoor, and she gets the call.
Just her 2nd strikeout on a curveball. 6 have been on the changeup, and she clears Fiedler for a 3rd time. Savia Morgan has punched out twice. The freshman bunts. It's a good one. It's a base hit. Thrown into right field and backed up by Wyckoff. She'll hold Morgan at first, but Dodge darts to 3rd.
Savia Morgan has great hands, good barrel control. This is just a perfect bunt. Pulls it down the first baseline, understanding that Ellis is anchored back. Miller makes that throw, and she has a great arm, but she's just rushed, and of course has to throw around Morgan, the batter base runner. Well placed by Savia Morgan. That was beautiful.
It's only the 2nd error on Kennedy Miller this season. So now both catchers have made errors in the game. Nugent had none on the year. Miller had 1. 2 critical errors by the backstops who've otherwise been great. And Tennessee has Taylor Panel coming to the plate with the tying runs on base. Their best home run hitter as the go-ahead run, and a chance to change this game.
Arkansas has played in close games here at the SEC tournament, just coming down to the wire. They come back in their first game, and a huge opportunity for Tennessee. Remember, Karen Weekly said, I want people to think, dang, those hitters are hungry. Huge opportunity for Taylor Panel to prove that to her team, that she's a hungry hitter.
Panel first pitch swing, a slow ground ball to short. Rio goes to first late. Infield single to make this a 2-1 game.
Jury's still out if this will go down as a hungry hitter swing off the end of the bat, but perfectly placed. Rio, great range, gets rid of it, but good hustle by Taylor Panel to get down the line. It is a miss hit. Tennessee, the majority of their hits have been infield singles off of their bats. They'll cut the lead in half.
That's an unearned run for the moment because of the throwing error by Miller. And Karen Weekly will pinch run for Panel. Legged out the infield hit. But now she'll be replaced by Katie Taylor. The go-ahead run at first with only one out. And a hero's welcome after the miss-hit RBI for Taylor Panel. Just put the ball in play, and beautiful things can happen. Here's Sophia Nugent. First pitch rip, that's popped up out of play.
Oh no. Tough job today.
And the guy who has to keep the foul balls away from kids, it is. Again, it's not his fault. Well, Sophia Nugent committed the throwing error that led to 2 Arkansas runs. Another one fouled back. And it's 0-2.
Sophia Nugent has had some big swings this year for Tennessee.
The changeup has been the 2-strike pitch of choice for Heron. And on 0-2, he actually didn't throw it. Maybe that sets up the changeup.
Just last weekend, Nugent hit 3 home runs in the series against Texas A&M.
A fly ball blasted to center. It's not quite deep enough. Johnson took it away at the top of the wall. A Reagan Johnson robbery for the second out of the inning.
The center fielders in the SEC are unbelievable with their athleticism. Look at her track this back, finds the wall with her hand, and then jumps at the perfect moment. What a look, what a catch.
Emma Clark. Strike 1. Reagan Johnson, just a superior athlete. Won their team challenge this offseason, which included swimming and lifting and a mile run uphill. She can do pretty much anything athletically. 0-2 for Clark. It's a ball that would not have been out, but it would have been off the wall. It certainly would have at least tied the game from Nugent. And now Heron is a strike away from escaping the 6th with a lead. Clark doesn't bite. A few occasions there are dull moments at this tournament. They don't last very long. 1-2 coming. Got her swinging. Inning over. Tennessee gets 1 and only 1.
Because of Reagan Johnson. Going back, finding the fence, the leadoff hitter, but she has the defense too. Robin Heron has a ton of strikeouts, but this defense is truly one of the best in the country.
The 11 seed, the Land Shark, ready to go. And the 3rd seeded Longhorns. Texas A&M, South Carolina is our nightcap. Beth Bowens, Michelle Smith, Holly Rowe will be on the call for those 2. Oklahoma has advanced to the SEC semis. The winner of this game will join them. 3 unearned runs. Masterful stuff from Carlin Pickens and Robin Heron. A couple of defensive miscues, but we've seen some brilliant defense from both teams as well. notably from Reagan Johnson to rob a game-tying hit for Arkansas in center field. McDowell, Miller, and Rijos 6, 7, and 8 here. Tennessee's going to have its 6, 7, and 8 in the bottom of the 7th.
Okay.
2-2 for Ella McDowell.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2-2.
8 strikeouts for Carlin Pickens, soon to be the SEC Pitcher of the Year again.
Ball.
Look at Carlin Pickens and this launch position that she gets so deep into this front leg and her back foot, how far it is behind her because of her long legs. It's crazy to think, Kevin, not that many years ago, you used to have to start the pitch with both feet on the pitching rubber. And somebody who was tall like Carlin Pickens, 6 foot, 6'1", literally both of your feet had to be on the pitching rubber. So I want you to imagine the spot that you just saw Carlin Pickens get in with that almost sprinter-like position that she starts her pitch. Look how spread out her feet are.
McDowell to third. A 5-hole on Taylor Panel, and now both third basemen have reached on an error by their counterpart.
Hard hit ball, but a ball that needs to be fielded. Right through the wickets. Late to get that glove down.
Tennessee's second error. Arkansas has made 2.
Ball.
And Miller's squaring the bunt. Now Miller swinging away, ground ball to short. And she is safe at first. 6-4 on the fielder's choice for the first out.
Miller in a perfect position up the middle of the field. Didn't hardly have to move at all. Got the force out at 2, almost turned 2. Good hustle by Miller to get down the line. A little bit more of a slow developing play, not a real hard hit ball.
Ava Carter on to pinch run for her.
21 for 17. 21-17.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Running at first base now for Arkansas, number 21, Ava.
Just amazed by how Arkansas turned this thing around. You saw them against Oklahoma.
Yes.
They did not look anything like this. They were 1-5 to start the year going into Tennessee. The way Tennessee's played at home the last few years, they could have been looking at 1-8, 2-7. Instead, they win that series. They win the first 2. Beat Carlin Pickens in extra. Win 9-0 in the next game. And it's just been a rocket-fueled trip from there on out to the 5 seed. But they've been maybe the best team in the SEC after week 2.
Yeah, that was definitely the turnaround weekend for them, that they got everything back on track, better energy, and turned some things around. And then, quite frankly, Tennessee didn't play well that weekend. Arkansas took advantage of it, and I thought the same thing about Tennessee the following weekend, because I had them against Oklahoma after they lost the series to Arkansas, thinking, oh, I don't know how this Oklahoma series is going to go with the way that Tennessee is playing right now. Then they got back on track. They won that series in Norman. So a couple of defining moments, defining series for both of these teams were really within a weekend of playing each other.
Two teams that could have gone into the tank at different points, instead emerged with 2 of the 5 best records in the SEC. Slap foul, 2-2 for Rio. Resurgent Razorbacks, 19-5, 6 SEC series, 6 series wins since getting swept by Oklahoma. Second best offense, second best pitching in the league in that stretch. And Courtney Deifel has talked all year about how much she loves this group, how coachable they are, how light her freshmen keep it. She wasn't necessarily sure after the Oklahoma series how they were going to handle that adversity. She said, we're going to have to figure it out or it was going to get ugly. And they figured out what they were made of, and they've been showing her ever since. Remember, this is still a program that has not made it to the Women's College World Series, even though they won the SEC and won the tournament 3 years ago. They were the seeded team against Texas and lost in Super Regionals. This could be as strong of a chance as they've ever had to get to OKC. Riho strikes out. It's the 9th punch out today for Carlin Pickens.
Carlin Pickens has not had as many strikeouts second time through and third time through the order, but bears down with this rise ball to get Riho. Second time that Riho is struck out against Pickens. First time with the changeup, this time with the rise ball, a low rise through the zone.
Six and 2/3, no earned runs for Pickens, 3 hits, no walks, 9 strikeouts.
Ball.
But it could be the 5th time she loses without allowing an earned run this year. Tennessee is going to need to get at least one in the 7th. They've got their 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Gabby Leach, Laura Mueller, and then Alana Leach coming up. Mueller does have 2 hits in the game, 2 of Tennessee's 5. 1-1. Down and in to Davison.
And Carlin Pickens can beat any offense in the country. And the thing that makes her so great, too, is that she can go up against great offenses multiple times in a weekend and pitch complete games against them because she is so good and has so many tools.
How about the 9-hitter Davison, who rips the ball to left field? Carly Davison snaps an 0 for 20 with that 2-out hit.
Could tell that Davidson is trying to be early. It's a pitch that's up and away, but just has it in her to start her swing early, get her hands to these fast speeds, and is out around an outside pitch, but breaks that snap and will help her confidence too.
And now the defensive saver from the bottom of the 6th, Reagan Johnson.
Ball.
2 on, 2 out, a 2-1 Arkansas lead.
I always look for turning points in games and in a season, and Reagan Johnson at bat in the 3rd inning was the turning point for me in this game for Arkansas's offense. She struck out on 3 pitches in her first at bat. When she came up with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning, and she was a tough out. She made Carlin Pickens work.
Slaps this ball to 3rd. Panel doesn't have a play. It's an infield single, and they're loaded up for Reagan Kramer. Here comes Karen Weekly. So another good at-bat by Johnson. Had that 10-pitch battle in the 3rd. She's got 2 singles since. Arkansas has the bases loaded courtesy of an error, a single, and an infield single. Because of that error, no matter what happens, Carlin Pickens still will not allow an earned run.
And you want some extra insurance runs here if you're Arkansas. Bases loaded opportunity, just trying to find any way to push a run across.
You certainly don't want to face Bree Ellis again, in part because it would mean a run at least.
And Tennessee has had better at-bats off of Robin Herron, too, in these last couple of innings. So feel more comfortable going into that last inning with 2-run lead, 3-run lead, 1 run. Feeling pretty close with their ABs. Now they've been seeing her better.
Well, Reagan Kramer, who walks as much as anybody, has seen 7 pitches, 7 strikes. Swings at the first pitch, up in the air to deep right field. It's gone! Reagan Kramer's 2nd home run of the year is a grand slam off Carlin Pickens. She can't believe it. Her dugout's losing their mind. They're loving every minute of it. Kramer with the dagger.
And she is usually such a patient hitter, so I guarantee Karen Weekly came out and said to Carlin Pickens, a reminder, go at this hitter. Bree Ellis is on deck, the Grand Slam hitter from yesterday. And when you're Reagan Kramer, the bases are loaded, there are 2 outs. You know that the pitcher is going to come at you. She got it, she looked for it, usually patient, but she just lets it rip on the first pitch and really gives insurance runs to Arkansas.
Now Ellis with a base hit through the left side. I mean, it feels like every time Reagan Kramer comes up, we and opposing teams and fans, maybe the pitcher, are thinking about the player in the on-deck circle, Bree Ellis. But now it's Reagan Kramer's time to shine. Her second career Grand Slam. The other was in the regionals against Harvard 2 years ago. And there is crimson smoke wafting from that Arkansas dugout as the Razorbacks have opened this up in the 7th inning.
So the majority of the runs at the SEC tournament have been scored via Grand Slams.
Bree Ellis and Reagan Kramer, the Bogle Bombers. The Grand Razorbacks. Ellis replaced by Casey Wood, a pinch runner.
Well, and Carlin Pickens before that Grand Slam only given up 4 home runs all year.
Ball.
What a cool moment for Reagan Kramer, who's their best leader too.
Yeah, great point. Great, and that's why you see her teammates get so excited for her to see that ball go out of the park, and just how happy they were for her.
It's funny, Courtney Deifel said she's never worried about being liked. And that's why everyone really likes her, because she is so consistent from the fall all the way through the end of the year.
Ball.
Now Day walks, and the 7th inning has unraveled for Tennessee. The first walk of the game from Pickens.
There's still a half inning left at least in this game, but this is just a tough pill to swallow, honestly, if you're Tennessee. Got run rolled in your last game against Texas A&M, and Knoxville lost the series to them. And now you're down 6-1 with your best pitcher in the circle. I mean, NCAA tournament is right around the corner. You want to be feeling your best, and I'm not sure if Tennessee's going to be feeling their best at this point.
Unless they have a historic rally in the 7th. That's hard to argue. Jaden Wells came on to pinch run Arkansas with 2 pinch runners now in the game. It all started on the error by Panel on a hard hit ball right through her wickets from McDowell. This 2-out rally then. It was 2 out, 1 on, and the 9-hitter Davison up. Davison singled, Johnson singled, Kramer detonated the inning with a grand slam. And 5 straight Razorbacks have reached since the strikeout of Rio to get to 2 outs. Wyckoff swings and misses 0-2. By the way, I think Torrey ended up with that ball in the midst of all that madness.
Oh, yeah.
Out in the studio, proudly displaying it. What a 7th inning. We look like a sleepy little 7th. Carlin Pickens mowing down bats again until this.
Second home run of the season. Reagan Kramer with the home run hitter Bree Ellis on deck said, Bree Ellis, take a look at my grand slam. Teammates loving it, hitting coach loving it. Arkansas up big from the Reagan Kramer grand salami off of the SEC Pitcher of the Year.
Cardinal crush from Reagan Kramer. Arkansas with a grand slam, its second of the tournament, leads 6-1. As we go to the bottom of the 7th, Razorbacks are 3 outs away from a rematch with Oklahoma in the SEC tournament semifinals. Gabby Leach, Laura Mueller, Alana Leach against Robin Herron. A game that twisted and turned a couple of times in the 6th inning. Looked for a moment like Tennessee might take the lead. But Sophia Nugent's fly ball fell just short of the wall in center into Reagan Johnson's outstretched arm, glove. And then Reagan Kramer's 2-out grand slam has given Arkansas a mighty cushion.
And Reagan Johnson has been the difference maker, the game changer throughout this game. The at-bat that changed the momentum for Arkansas's confidence against Pickens.
Great snag there. McDowell lunging to retire Leach.
And that got on her in a hurry. Hot corner, goes to her backhand and grabs that. That would have been extra bases for Leach. But it was at Reagan Johnson at bat, her catch at the wall, and then she even in that last inning had a hit with 2 outs to pass the bat to Kramer.
Well, Laura Mueller's had a day. She's 3 for 3. 3 of Tennessee's 6 hits. Shortstop who has struggled a bit in SEC play. So that's a good sign for Tennessee into the postseason. And this was a chance for them to stamp a resume they hope is going to be a top 8 seed. But wouldn't be guaranteed, especially after loss. Karen Weekly's going to send in a pinch runner down 5. Zoe Schuler.
There's going to be a lot of teams on pins and needles on Sunday watching this selection show, seeing where their team ends up.
Ball.
Biggest questions for you right now before Sunday selection? I know you got a couple of days left, but what are you eyeballing?
You know, who's going to grab that 15-16 seed? Is Texas Tech going to slide in there as a national seed, or will Nyjah Kennedy be on the road?
Leads to left, out number 2.
And then it was, you know, who's going to grab the 1 seed? Texas A&M's resume looks pretty good. We'll see who ends up making a run here to win the championship, and if that helps their resume and get that number 1 national seed.
I think Florida was considered very much in the mix, but they lost to Ole Miss yesterday, so they don't get a chance to boost their resume. Oklahoma's absolutely in the mix. They'll play the winner of this game tomorrow as Schuler scampers to second. Has Arkansas done enough to earn a top 8? They probably have, especially with a win today. A very difficult strength of schedule in the league. Their non-conference strength of schedule, number 89. One and 1 for Dodge.
And how many SEC teams are going to grab top 8 seeds? I think that that's on everybody's mind as well. Is it going to be 6 out of 8, 5 out of 8, 7 out of 8? I mean, there's a lot of options here with the resumes that they've put together.
Ball. That one through the wickets. The Millers having a tough sequence here. A couple of wild pitches. Bring Schuler to third. And that run is just window dressing here. And Tennessee down to its final out of the SEC tournament.
Ball.
Robin Herron has not walked a batter. Her 3-1. Grounded foul. And the Vols are down to their final strike. And just one hit in the first 4 innings, 2 hits in the first 5 innings, got to within 2-1 in the 7th. 6 unearned runs for Arkansas. 2 crucial errors for Tennessee in those crooked number innings.
Ball.
And there's the first walk of the game handed out by Herron. Up by 5 in the 7th. So the Vols will pass the bat to Kinsey Fiedler. And we will not turn the page to tomorrow just yet. 2 more games to come today. Texas Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and South Carolina. Fiedler, a fly ball to right field. That will end it. Arkansas wins 6-1, and the Razorbacks have a date with Oklahoma in tomorrow's semifinals. Robin Herron was brilliant, and Reagan Kramer's grand slam in the 7th inning means the Razorbacks will hang loose for at least another day here in Athens.
Great effort by Robin Herron, who remember had 16